Terrific Tuesday coming up. Hello, hello. Thank you for the virtual potluck. It virtually tasted great. Let's pray, Father, Son, Holy Spirit, amen. We pray Christmas is remembered for Jesus being born. We pray that all people throughout the world, have extra prayers and extra charity work and extra smiles for others throughout this Christmas season, and we treat our own family with lots of love and respect and stay positive and have lots of prayers of thanksgivings for everything that we have, including gifts, food, school, housing, clothes, clean water, dot, dot, dot. Okay, we're going to go eventually to page 19 and work on homework. But I want to review what we did yesterday, point slope form. So let's go here, and I'll give you a couple questions on the formula y subtract y1 equals m times x subtract x1. So we learned yesterday if we have a slope and a point, we can turn that into an equation using the point slope form, aka this one. This y and this x never change. They always stay as x and y. The y is first. Any double sign or any negative x or y coordinate turns into a double sign, so it makes it plus, because you subtract -3, that's going to be +3. To write this one down, it's y plus 3, subtract -3, equals 1 times x subtract 2. That's point slope form. Now, 1 times x subtract 2 is just 1. Sorry about that. Had a tobogganing injury with Knight, and he fell on his face. So let's pray everyone has safe activities through skating, skiing, tobogganing. Everyone is safe and injury free. He's fine. Just we get hurt. Okay, so if we have slope intercept form, we solve for y. And then if we have general form, okay, so this is slope intercept form. And now general form, we subtract y on both sides. And you know that's general form. Okay, so sometimes in multiple choice, it won't tell you, but you have to notice that all the answers in y equal, or all the answers are 0 equals. So just look at the answers first and then solve accordingly. Okay, you go ahead and do this one. Give me a slope of -2 and -1, -4 as the point. Give you a minute to do all of them. Okay, point, slope form, slope intercept form, and general form. Give you 2 minutes to do that. Unpause when you're ready. So right now, pause, 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 pause. Let's see how you did. We got y subtract y1. They're both negative, so y subtract negative is +4. Goes -2 times x plus 1 subtract -1. Now this has an extra step to it. Most of them do, where you distribute. And then, so that's point slope. I'm not going to write it down. That's point slope right there. Now we're going to solve for y. Subtract 4, subtract 4. Y equals -2x subtract 6. That's slope intercept form. And now general 0 equals -2x. Just write this anywhere down in your notebook or loose leaf, however you're taking notes. And now I want to do one question review from yesterday with a fraction in it when you have a slope of a fraction. And then I'll give you one to do, and then we'll be on our way. So if you didn't get that last question, go ahead and pause it and correct. Otherwise, I'm going to move on to C, where we have a point and the slope as a fraction, -1/2, this point -3/2. Okay, so we're using the same formula, y subtract y1, the y part, equals slope, bracket, x plus 3, because it's a double sign. And now we could distribute and add and subtract fractions, but the best way to do this, so that's point slope form, the best way to do this is to get rid of denominators. So we multiply everything by 2, but we don't multiply inside the bracket by 2, because eventually when we distribute, then this is going to be multiplied by 2. Okay, so the 2's are canceled. You get 2y subtract 4. Don't forget there's a -1 here. You can't just lose it, or you're going to get the wrong answer. Now you distribute the -1. And that's last time I went general form right away. I could do that, but let's just do slope intercept form first. Divide by 2. We get y equals -1/2 x plus 1/2. In general form, I'm going to use this line right here to do general form. And then I'm going to, you know what, let's make the x positive this time and bring everything over to that side by adding x and adding 3. Talked about that yesterday one time. If you did it the other way, that's fine. You'll get the same answer. And I'll mark it right. This is just one less step, and will be helpful for grade 11 and 12. Okay, your turn. I'll let you pause it and write everything down. And once you're done that and study C, go ahead and do D. Pause, 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 pause. Okay, here's D, your turn. D. Slope equals 1/3. 7/11. Go ahead and put that in point slope form, y-intercept form, general form. Form it up. Pause now until you're done. Correct it when you're done. Done. Pause, 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 pause. All right, good work. Here we go. Back in black. Y subtract y1 equals 1/3 times x subtract x1. What do you do with the fraction? You get rid of it. What do you do in the slope form when you have a fraction? You get rid of it. What do you do in general form when you have a fraction? Get rid of it. Okay, so you get 3y subtract 33 equals 1 times that is just that. Okay, so you did the one thing, point slope. Now let's go solve for y. You can go general form first if you want to, it doesn't matter to me. Divide by 3. Y equals, don't forget, x means 1x, 1/3 x plus 26/3. Or, from this point, or this step, you have 3y subtract 33. General form, I want x positive, so let's bring these guys over. Subtract 3y and add 33. Subtract 3y and add 33. Pow pow. 0 equals x. Subtract 3y plus 26. One of my lottery numbers. If you win with 26 as a lottery number, I get half. Don't forget, because I will know somehow. J.O. Claus always knows. Okay, next thing we're doing is our homework. On page 19 is where we left off. So bottom of page 19. Go there now. And these ones you're just going to put in slope point form. So just put it into the formula and you're done. Page 20 is for homework as well. This is slope-intercept form. So what does that mean? For number 2, slope-intercept form means y equals this one. Slope-intercept form means y equals, except for, I'm going to make one of these general. So let's put number 2 and general. So solve for y and give me one side equals a 0. I'll just give you 2 of those instead of 3 because I'm a nice guy. And then we got number 4. Oh, never mind. I just didn't read. So there's our general form. So let's leave. Nah, you know what? I kind of like general form in 2. So let me flip-flop and say I'm sticking with 2. Do slope-intercept and general form. Then you got 3 more slope-intercepts, 4, 2 more generals, and then 5 was the reverse thinking questions that we did. Okay, so pause this until you're done, and we'll correct it when you're done in 15 minutes-ish. Okay, that's correctamundo, the homework on page 19. Bottom of the page is corrected now because we have an assignment on Wednesday as usual. We're going to have a lot of transitions today, which is good. You're going to do homework, then correct homework, then learn about new stuff, and then do homework, and then correct homework. Get you ready for the assignment on Wednesday, tomorrow. So today, here is the first step. We're using the formula y subtract y1 equals slope times x subtract x1. That's what point slope form is. You just have to do the first one. Remember, anytime you have a negative sign, it becomes plus. So that should be plus 2. This should be plus 5. And there we go. That should be plus 7. If there's 0, you don't need to put y subtract 0 because y subtract 0 is just y. Okay, I'll let you look at those real quick. And move on to 2z. Which is more of a test question than 1z. And number 2, solve for y. Okay, so they're just giving you, the point here would be 2, negative 1. The slope is 8. They just did the first step for you and asked you to do the distribute part and solve for y, which is good. But the question I'm going to ask you is number 3, not number 2. There it is. Find the equation in slope-intercept form. So you have to solve for y. So we start with point slope formula. We had to do D, E, and C. So just look at these ones. And we started with D, but I don't know why. I'd rather start with C, so no fraction. So if you just look at your C first, we have y subtract 4 equals negative 2, x subtract 0, and x subtract 0 is just x, so you don't even need to put that. And then solve for y by adding 4 to both sides. That's slope-intercept form. Look at E, no fractions, so E, the one in the middle. Y plus 7, because we have a double sign, x plus 7. So that just means no distribute, x plus 7, 1 times itself is anything, and then you subtract 7 on both sides. And the hardest one, of course, is D, where we have to get rid of a fraction. So they distribute the half. Okay, that works out okay for them. But it can get more complicated than that. So when I am at this point, I'm not going to distribute. Doggone it. I'm going to solve for y by getting rid of the fractions because it's just a good thing to do although it's easier to distribute this way, but it's a good habit to get rid of fractions because we also see that in general form. 2's cancel. 1 times x plus 6 is x plus 6. Then add 4. We get 2y equals x plus 10. Divide by 2. Divide by 2. You get y equals 1/2 x plus 5, which is what they get. And they do it a little easier. But half the questions, you're not going to just have a 1/2 x. You're going to have to start adding and subtracting fractional algebraic fractions, which we can do, but I'd rather avoid it when I can. So either way is fine as long as you get that answer for D. Let's talk general form. Pause if you want to write any of those down. And we're going to move on to number 4. And I asked you to do D and E, so general form, general form. There's your D and E. These are more complicated. Start by double signing it. And okay, so this time they do multiply by 5. Multiply by 5. Good job. To get over here, 5y plus 10 equals, and then they distributed the 2 into the brackets, so 2x plus 18. And now get one side equals 0, subtract 5y both sides, and subtract 10. This is, I like this. This is the exact same thing, okay? So don't get confused if you got the top one here, and the multiplication answer is the one that's double underlined. It's the exact same thing. If you have x equals 3, well, you can switch the left-hand side and right-hand side because they're equal, so you can put them on different sides. It's the exact same thing. This says x equals 3, and this says x equals 3. And go ahead and look at 8, or sorry, E. Getting rid of the 4. And similar question to D. Pause if you need to, otherwise 5 is coming. To town. D, F. This is what we're going to do. We got point slope form, and we're going to get the slope and the point from that, so we do. Reverse thinking, yes we do. Remember the y is first, so x is coming for you. Do the x first, there. Do the y second, there. The slope is the easiest one in front of the brackets. Okay. Take a peek at this. Remember, if it has no number, it's just a 0. And that means both of these are zeros. And yes, I'm singing because my kids are awesomely singing in the other room, and I can hear them being happy and singing Christmas songs over and over and over. Love it. Again, if you have any questions on these, just chat or email me, or just shout out and say you want to meet me in the chat room. Or if you think it's a question for everyone, you can just ask that question right in front and I'll answer it. And I thank you for those questions. So that's how we learn math. I asked many questions to my high school math teachers and my university math teachers. Always asked them questions. Okay, let's move on to page 2-1. Then on, I think. General form, slope-intercept form, slope point form. I got a point slope. People call it slope point. I don't actually hear many people call it slope point, but point slope, slope point, same thing. And we're going to start graphing now, and we already have from the y. So that's going to be review for y equals mx plus b. But we've also graphed using the xy intercepts. That's what we're going to do for general form. I'll give you an option. And then the point slope form, if you can recognize it, you can get a point and a slope, and that's all we need to graph. So let's go to example 1 and do this together. First one, this is a review. We're going to plot the y-intercept, 0, 4 up. And then the slope is 2, which is 2 over 1. So I'm going to write this really slowly so you can go ahead and work ahead of me. So go ahead and find another point using the rise over run and draw the line with arrows and label it, please. Now 2 over 1 means 2 up, 1 to the right. That's so close, I'm going to do it again, maybe even a couple times, so I can get a nice proper line here. Connect the dots. Pretty good job, J.O. And write down, label the line. Especially in the next unit, we're going to have 2 lines at the same time. We need to know which line is which line. Voila, looks good. Review. Now, this is why we did the reverse thinking questions. Here, they give you a slope and a point, because it's in point slope form. The slope is 2, the number in front of the brackets. And the point, remember, is the opposite signs that we see. So I see a +1 for x, I put -1. And I see a -2 for y, so I put +2. Okay, so I remember at the very beginning of the lesson, we start by plotting the point. So -1, 1 to the left, 2 up. Oh, -1, 2 up, right there. And now going with the green, the slope is 2 over 1, so we're going to stick with this one. So 2, 1 to the right, 2, 1 to the right. Everyone's doing this with me, please. And we have a similar line. And we're going to label this one a really weird name, but that's still the name of the equation. And lastly, we're going to do x, y intercepts and connect them. Okay, so for 2x, subtract y plus 4. We could solve for y and do it like this, but there's another way. We can find x, y intercept. Remember, the x-intercept means y equals 0, or there is no y part. So 2 times 0 subtract y equals, plus 4 equals 0. Those cancel, so you're left with -y plus 4 equals 0. You can bring the y over, or you can do it this way. Bringing the y over to the other side is easier. And here, I just like showing that when you have a -y, you have to know what to do. You divide by -1. So y equals 4 is the y-intercept. And if we're finding the x-intercept, that means, that is the x-intercept. No worries. Made my millionth mistake of my life. Y equals 0. What am I doing? So I just found the y-intercept, and I'm going to leave it like that. So y equals 4. Now, so I'm just going to change this guy. That was weird. Now my x-intercept is 2 times x, subtract 0 plus 4 equals 0. Subtract 4, subtract 4. I get 2x equals a -4, divide by 2, divide by 2. And you get x equals -2. And then you just connect those dots. I want to put the ordered pair so you guys know that, and you already do. So let's do this line here and label it. Get 2x subtract y plus 4 equals 0. And you can see this is the exact same line 3 times. So cool. So A was written in slope-intercept form, B was in slope-point form, and C was in general form. They're all exactly the same. And we're going to practice graphing using the 3 different ways. So let's go to the next page and do the same. Well, I'm going to get you to do the same. I know, okay, it says I'll do it, so I'll continue to do it. We definitely need another example for this. This one I have a choice. I can either do y equals or the intercept ways. Find the x-intercept, find the y-intercept, and connect them. So it just depends on what you like the best. I'm going to do one of them this way and one of them this way, okay? This one you can see right away. I don't need to do anything. I have the y-intercept and the slope, and same thing with this one. I have a point and a slope. Okay, so let's do these one at a time and see what graph it matches up with. Okay, so this one, first one I'm going to do is I'm going to solve for y on this one. So solving for y, I just have to add y to both sides. I get 2x. Please write this down while I am. Plus 3 equals y. So I know that I need a y-intercept. And then my slope, again, is 2 over 1. Rise over run. So go to 3. If I don't have a 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Just a second, please. Okay, so it looks like graph A isn't quite at 3 up. It could be. But it looks definitely that 1, 2, 3. Oh, that looks like it's not quite. This could be it, B. And it looks like this graph D is definitely 3 up. So let's go to the rise. Which one has 2 up, 1 to the right? 2 up, 1 to the right. 2 up, 1 to the right. It looks like D is the winner. So there we go for D. Now, same thing with the 3 up. So 1, 2, 3. I think it's just a little distorted from the photocopying. So those are 3 up, those are 3 up, this is 3 up. Okay, so we have 3 possibilities. And we have negative 2 over 1, so 2 down this time. 2 down, 1 to the right. Now, this looks pretty good. 2 down, 1 to the right. 2 down, 1 to the right. Okay, so A marks a spot. Equation 3, I have a slope of negative 1/2, and my point is negative 4, negative 1. So 4 to the left, 1 down. Nope, not this one. 4 to the left, 1 down. Nope, not that one. 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 to the left, 1 down. Yup. And 4 to the left, 1 down. Not that one. So just by the point, we can see that equation 3 is C. However, I still want to check the slope out. So 1 down, 2 to the right, 1 down, 2 to the right, 1 down, 2 to the right. So yes, it is confirmed. And now I am actually going to do the XY intercept with this one. And I'm going to do it kind of shorthand. X-intercept means there's no Y part. So I have to solve negative X subtract 6 equals 0. And I'm going to bring my X to that side to get X equals negative 6. So I need the point negative 6, 0. And then the Y-intercept means there's no X part. So this is 0. I have to solve 2y subtract 6 equals 0. So I add 6, 2y equals 6, y equals 3. So one graph, and we know which one it probably is. B is the only one, should have a x-intercept at 6 to the left and a y-intercept at 3 up. Dun da 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 da. That's the killer bee. Good job. Okay, your turn. Now I don't think we've had enough practice with XY intercept. slope-intercept form and XY intercepts, graphing these. So, and I just did a couple each. So let's go to the next page and do these 3 questions for homework, except for we're going to correct homework. So that is nice because that means I want you to do number 4. And when you're done it, we're going to correct number 4 and then we'll move on to number 5. Just make sure you're on the right track, okay? So I want you to do number 4, A, slope-intercept form. B, point-slope form. You get a point and a slope. And C, I want you to use intercepts for C. So write that down. Even though on the test you'll have a choice, I want you to use intercepts for this one, just so you get practice doing that. Find the XY intercept and then connect them. Okay, so take as much time, probably 8-ish minutes, 10 minutes to do those 3 questions, and then you can unpause it, and I'll get you the answers. So please pause. Okay, here are the answers to number 4. Graph better than I can, so let's see how they did it. They have a y-intercept 0, 3, so they plot that first. 3 up. And then the rise is -1, and the run is 3. The negative sign goes up here. So 1 down, 3 to the right, 1 down, 3 to the right, and then you connect these dots, and please label it y equals -1/3 x plus 3. You're going to have to do that next unit, so write that down and understand and ask me any questions that you have. You have to know how to graph these using slope-intercept. This one was the last lesson we did. We know that this is the slope right here, -2. I'm going to put -2 over 1. And we know the point is the opposite sign of +6 and the opposite sign of -5 for the y. This is your x, this is your y. So first thing we do is we plot -6, 6 to the left and 5 up. And then we use the slope, 2 down, 1 to the right, 2 down, 1 to the right. And you can see that's how this guy is gone. And I'm usually not going to get you to label that big thingamajig, but since it's graphing, it's always good to label. And this one I asked you to find the x-intercept and the y-intercept. And the x-intercept means y equals 0, so you don't have a y part. So you have to solve x, subtract 8 equals 0. No problem, add 8 to both sides, I get x equals 8. So that's one of the points I'm going to plot, and then I'm going to connect it to the y-intercept, which is x equals 0. That means there's no x part. This part is gone, and everything else is left. So I have a -4y. Subtract 8 equals 0. If you want to, you can bring the 4y over, add 4y to both sides. Or you can add 8 and then divide by -4. You'll get the same thing. So divide by 4, you get -2 as your y-intercept, which is 2 down. The x-intercept is 8 to the right, and then you draw a line through that graph and call it x subtract 4y subtract 8 equals 0, baby. Woo! All right, good job. Now it's time. Pause if you need to write any of that down. Otherwise, I'm going to move to number 5. And oops, not that 5. Just gave you the answers. Go ahead and do number 5. This one, oops. This one is point slope. This one is general form, so you can use solve for y or do the x-intercepts. It's up to you. This one's general form, same thing. So if you do solve for y here, which is slope-intercept, then I want you to do the intercepts for this one, or vice versa, okay? And this one is already in y equals mx plus b form, so you can just look at it and see which graph it corresponds to. So go ahead and pause that. When you're done number 5, you can unpause, and the answers will be right in front of you. Good job, good job. Thanks for your hard work. Almost done, class. Yay. All right, good job. Let's see how you did in Fiverr. There it is. Let's see if we can get it all. I might have to cut this down, hopefully just to that. And we can see number 1, there's the point and the slope, matches with B. Number 2, what did they do? They solved for y. So number 2, you should have had, if you solve for y, 1/4 x subtract 2, or you could do the x and y intercept way as well. Number 3, they ended up getting y equals 4x subtract 2. So you're looking for a 2 down for the y-intercept. There's a 2 down. There's a 2 down. Nope. Nope. And they're looking for a 4 up, 1 to the right. Nope. 4 up, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 to the right. That's the one. Okay, so that one we're talking about. Number 3 is A. So after that, you just compare all the intercepts and slopes, and only one graph matches with one of them. Super cool. You know what else is super cool? Page 24. But this is a good time for the world of Mr. J.O. Stories. This one is under the April Fool's heading. And something about April Fool's is when people cross me, I will plan for months on the April Fool's joke that I'm going to get. And I can't remember what my older sister did, but she was not very nice. And I just said I have to get her. So I started planning for this April Fool's joke many months, and this is what happened. I typed up a letter. So I got some information. Somewhere along the way, she said, I always have wanted to go to Las Vegas. And as soon as she said that, I was like, okay, there's my April Fool's joke right there. I typed up a letter. Said, congratulations. Your name has been drawn. And you've won a free trip for 2 to Vegas. You're staying in the Mirage for 1 week. You get $1,000 each for spending money. All your flights are paid for. You have won the grand prize. Congratulations. And I was working at the library, geophysics library at the time, so I had access to a stamp, so I smeared it really good as I put my stamp on, and it looked like it went through the mail. And I put it on her mail stack because she wasn't living with us anymore. She was with her husband. So she always came over for Sunday dinner. And I put it on in the middle of her envelopes. So we were eating probably a wonderful mushroom chicken and mashed potatoes with my mom and my 2 sisters, my brother-in-law, and she's all going through the letters. And she opens this one. Oh my God, oh my God. Sorry, that's what she said. We won. And she's freaking out. And she's so happy. And she explains the letter to everyone. Everyone's so excited. I'm laughing inside. And my brother-in-law said, oh, sorry, I forgot to tell you. I addressed the letter from Pacific Billiards. That's where we used to play some pool. And to make it even better, her husband said, oh yeah, I remember entering that draw. I just completely made up the draw, but he said, oh yeah, I remember entering the draw. So they bought it hook, line, and sinker. And that's where a normal guy would stop, but not me. I said, hey, you should phone them and thank them for winning this grand prize. And so they got the number. She phoned Pacific Billiards. Hello. Hi, I just got your letter. I won your grand prize, a free trip to Las Vegas. He was like, pardon? She goes, yeah, the trip for 2 to Vegas. I just got letter 1. And now this guy is getting concerned because it's his business and he hasn't given away a trip to Vegas. So he was, I don't think we had a trip to Vegas. And then she started reading the letter. At this time, I have a note in my jeans that I pass to her, and I run to the bathroom. And she opens the note, and what do you think it says? April Fools. And she says, "Oh, I'm sorry," and then just runs after me. But I'm already locked in the bathroom. I know there's no way I'm getting out. And that was one of my better April Fool's jokes. Ha ha. Okay, I know page 24 is way more exciting than that. So let's go to page 24 and talk about rate of change, aka slope. You already know this. You already did in science if you had science. So it says it right here. Slope represents rate of change, and we're going to use this exact formula. So this is x1, y1. This is x2, y2. So we go 120, subtract 40 up top, and x2 is 3 subtract 1 on the bottom, and that's 80 divided by 2, which is 40. Now, it's going to be helpful if you write the units, so you don't forget the unit rate. So this is all kilometers. The distance is kilometers. The y is kilometers. So 80 kilometers over 2 hours. So that's why we have a unit rate of kilometers per hour. So this car is driving at a speed of 40 kilometers an hour. Not very much. He's in Okotoks. Okay, so go ahead and fill in this. Is it increasing or decreasing? Distance is increasing at the rate of 40 kilometers per hour. Okay, just one more of these. And I'll get you to do this one. Calculate the slope, aka calculate the rate of change. So this is your first point, this is your second point. Go ahead and do that, and then I want you to also fill this in. And I also want to fill this in. So we just did kilometers per hour as a unit rate. There's other unit rates we see in the world. So go ahead and find the slope and fill in the blanks. Pause it now, and when you're done, you can unpause the pause. Okay, slope formula it is y2 subtract y1. Divided by x2 subtract x1. The y's are these, 350 subtract 50. And oven temperature, and this is 5 hours to make whatever that is. I've never made anything 5 hours in the oven. Divided by, sorry, it has minutes, not hours. Like, wow. So let's just turn the oven on, I guess. You have 300 over 5, which is 60. Don't just leave 60 though. That's why we need to put 350 subtract 50. What is it? Degrees or minutes? Degrees. And this is minutes. So we're at 60 degrees per minute is when it warms up. That makes sense. If it's 60 degrees every minute, then in 5 minutes, 60, 120, 180, 240, 350, because it started at 50, sorry. So 50, I should have been adding 60 to 50, 110, 170, 230, 290, there's 350. You said the temperature is increasing at the rate of 60 degrees per minute. Good job. Other unit rates. What are other units? Well, certainly we like kilometers per hour. So I'm going to put it, even though I didn't ask for that, I said other ones, but we're going to put kilometers per hour. Similar for speed is meters per second or miles per hour. It's also sports. What do we see in sports? points per game. PPG, points per game. Assists per game, lots of blocks per game, lots of sporting stats or unit rates. And what are you the most interested in when you get a job? Dollars per hour is probably the first or second, probably the second most popular unit rate. Okay, what do we want to do now? We want to answer 1B. Okay, so you're going to need a point P and a point Q, and then find, where's P? P's right here, Q's right here, and then find the slope. That's going to be the average speed between P and Q. And then write it as an answer sentence, kind of. The average speed is either increasing by 30 kilometers an hour or decreasing. Okay, so P to Q, or what was the average speed? And then the next page, I want you to do this one. And the unit rate, I'll give you a hint, is either number of computers per month, or do you think it's the number of months per computer? Which one sounds better? Yeah, this is the unit rate you're going to use. I'm not going to say anything else when you do this question. You're going to use computers per month. Okay, go ahead and do those. And I will be right back with those two answers. And then we're done. Done, 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 done. Pause, please. All right, let's clean it up. Grand finale. Number one, bottom of page 24. We're looking for the average rate of change between P and Q. So we write the point P and the point Q, half my nickname. And then we find the slope of those points, including the unit, so you don't forget the unit rate. So that's 150 kilometers an hour. They are driving 150 kilometers an hour. What? What are you talking about? Are they in a man scooter or what? 150 kilometers an hour, we're going to assume they're in Europe in the Autobahn. I think it's what it's called, where you can drive however fast you want, and not in safe Canada. Some of you are dirt bikers and skidoers, and maybe even BMXs, are loving the fact that this question has some guts. It's got some attitude. Yeah. Okay, next question. Pause it if you need to see it more. Is computers per month. They give you a first stat in blue. In the first month, January, they sell 520,000 computers. Not bad. 2004. And in July, the 7th month, they sell 610,000. So what's the rate of change that they're selling in 2004? Okay, so all the computers are selling in 2004. It's Y2 subtract Y1 computers divided by X2 subtract X1 months. 90,000 divided by 6 months. That's 15,000 computers per month they sell. Not bad. Okay, if you have time left in class, you are going to study this unit. Flip through the pages again. We have assignment tomorrow on pages 1 to 25. 1 to 25, and 25 just this part here. The little baby number 2 here. Okay, so assignment is tomorrow. As always, we'll break up the week, and it will likely be out of 20 again. And we will also again dream about those virtual potlucks. I love the goodies. Hey, good job. God bless. Have an awesome day. Ha 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 ha.